Well, I thought it was going to be a quiet day today. I thought with match day and everything else, I thought there's no way West Ham are going to be busy in the last day of the transfer window. Well, we have not one of those videos where I'm going to be scratching around for something to talk about. That's for sure. James Ward-Prowse is back, by the way. The club have just announced it, so it's not even a rumour anymore. It is actually happening. We'll discuss that. I think probably the more breaking news at this point is the transfer of Daniel Cummings, who is the Celtic forward who we're trying to buy. We're trying to get the deal done today. There's a certain amount of desperation with this deal, which would lead me to believe that this is really being pushed forward by Graham Potter, Carl McCauley, the pairing of them, certainly. Cummings is available for free, and he can sign a pre-contract with us, but he just arrives in the summer. The fact that West Ham are looking to push this through now, I think, is very, very interesting indeed. Can I just say a massive thank you to ETC Sports. Where is their logo? Up there. One of the corners. They've signed on with us for another year. West Ham fans, proper people, proper West Ham folk. They've looked after us for so long. I could not be more grateful. So thank you very much, ETC Sports. ETC Sports Services. Look, if you're a, I don't know, maybe you run a council, maybe you run a sports centre, maybe something like that, and you need these. You've got a 3G, 4G pitches, tennis court coverings, anything like that. Just go and check it out. Proper West Ham fans, I'll tell you that now. Right, Daniel Cummings. Daniel Cummings, he can't get in to the Celtic first team. Now, I don't want to call it a hissy fit from Brendan Rodgers, because I get it. I understand. He's disappointed that the player's going to leave on a free, but I understand it from both points of view here. So Brendan Rodgers has basically made a plea for Cummings to be more patient, to wait his turn, that eventually he'll get a chance in the Celtic team. Now that goes, I have quite a lot of contact with somebody that runs a Celtic website, and we speak, a couple of times a month. And anyway, he knows an awful lot about Celtic, suffice to say. And he was telling me that Rodgers has never been too keen to use this player because he feels he lacks the athleticism. Rodgers really wants massive amounts of pace in attack, and if at all possible. And Cummings, for all his skill, very intelligent, deft footballer. He's not an athlete, basically. And that's why he's struggled, despite him scoring freely in the underage groups. He just can't make that breakthrough. I mean, it sort of sounds familiar, really, doesn't it? So you can understand it from the player's point of view. He's thinking, I'm not going to get a chance here. I want to go. Rodgers, you can understand it from his point of view, where he's disappointed to be losing what is their best young player. But West Ham really want him. So as it stands at the moment, we initially bid. See, we can have him for free. Like I said, we can have him for free in the summer. We initially bid £250,000, and say we'll take him now. Celtic turned that down, and I'm not entirely sure how true this is, but we went back with a second bid of £500,000. Now, apparently Celtic are holding out for £750,000, so I mean, these are really sort of minute details, aren't they? I don't think at the moment it gets too rich, West Ham can just turn around and say, well, do you know what, we'll just leave it. What I would say is, even going back to us taking punts on players like Haksabanovic, if you remember him, West Ham have always been prepared to spend a couple of £1 million punt money, basically, on these players. So I still don't think it's particularly rich. If we've decided that we really want him, I don't think it's particularly rich at £750,000. A compromise is going to be agreed. What I would say is, by the time I've got this video published, don't be surprised if something has changed in that, because everything's moving so quickly. Poor old Gio yesterday released 2 videos, and they were both, sometimes you record a video, you edit it, you do the thumbnail, you do the description. The process can take half hour, 45 minutes or whatever, and by the time you've done it, the news has changed. That happened twice to poor old Gio yesterday. So I do, look, if this is wrong and this is old by the time I put it out there, I would say I'll come back later with another video to correct it. I possibly won't. It's match day. We got a match to deal with later on. But anyway, Daniel Cummings looks like a really, really skillful player, and it's just interesting to see us pushing it. The only reason you could think is that the manager really, really wants this one and wants the numbers and wants this player in now. Eli Junior Krupi, that appears to be on the back burner. Some rumours suggesting that Chelsea have come in. We might look to revisit it in the next transfer window if we can. I mean, again, what is clear, it's a very, very different transfer target to what we had at the start of the window. I think the thing is, you've also got to put into context that it's a sort of young, what is he, 18-year-old fast attacker. We've got one of those in Luis Guilherme, so I'd be interested to see what happens with him today. Possibly nothing. I think, obviously, the Saudi transfer window closed before our domestic one closes anyway. Rumours that he was going there. Obviously, that can't happen, won't happen anymore. There's been some tentative offers from elsewhere. If he doesn't get a permanent transfer, we need to do something with him. Now, he needs to go out on loan or he needs to play in the under-21s. He's clearly not going to play in the first team. What we can't let him do is just sit and stagnate there for just... I just don't think it's fair on him. He's a young lad. I know people say, oh, yeah, well, he's well paid and so on and so forth. That is true, but I think sometimes don't matter how much you've got in the bank. He's come over here. He's still a young lad. He's brought his family over here. He probably wants to play football. He's in a strange country. Let him play football. At the moment, we're not doing him or ourselves any favours at all. Get him out on loan to a Championship club, and even if you just say to them, look, can you just make sure he gets 8 starts between now and the season? It'd be something. I know you can't force them to play him every game or anything. But just, there must be a Championship club, even a League One club, who are desperate for a winger. I mean, again, maybe by the time I've recorded this video and put it out there, something it'd be happening with Guilherme. I know the club were trying. The club were really trying. And in terms of outgoing deals, I mean, there could still be some stuff happening here. So I would not be surprised if something happens before the end of the day. Look, we'll go into those in just a minute, those outgoing transfers and a bit of James Ward-Prowse. Before I do, can I please point you in the direction of today's video sponsor, which is Match Bingo. Who are Match Bingo? You know Match Bingo are. You should have signed up to them already. If you haven't done, go and click the link in the description below. Match Bingo is the perfect combination of bingo and football, the combination you never knew you needed. You know, a bingo card, it's got numbers on it. Rather than having that, you've got events that happen in a football match: goal kick, throw in, shot on target, kick off, that sort of thing. Every time an event happens, ding, you get a little tick on your card. The first person that wins one row, there's basically 3 rows of 5. The first person that wins the first row wins some money. The first person that wins the second row wins some money. You get a full house, you win some money. There's also a bonus pot. We have had over 150 winners from you guys who just watch Hammers Chat. So go and check it out. Links in the description below. As ever, gamble responsibly. What I would say is the stakes are so low on this. It's £2 per game. It costs you £2 to buy a card for a game, and you can only buy a maximum of 5 cards on a game anyway. So go and check it out. Links in the description below. Get your card for tonight's game against Chelsea. Then while you're watching the game, as we score 1 goal, ding! I'd fancy us for tonight. I do. But anyway, we haven't got time for a preview, have we, on this particular video? Right, so outgoing. Only loan offers so far for Andy Irving. We would still be willing to let him go. Guido Rodriguez, he can go. He can absolutely go. But West Ham paid £2.5 million in terms of signing on fees and agents' fees. And I think we sort of want that back. It's not like we're being greedy and we're demanding a transfer fee. I think we signed him, and it's just not worked out. So at least he's done okay. He's played some games, but you have to think with Ward-Prowse coming back, he's going to play very, very little indeed. And the other one is Danny Ings. I mentioned him in yesterday's video. Ings is more than happy to stay put. But anything could happen for any one of those players. But as I mentioned, I think it becomes more difficult for someone like Luis Guilherme. That's a tougher deal to do. That is a far tougher deal to do than, whatever, I don't know, Irving signing for, somebody else within the British Isles, be it, a Scottish team or an English team. That's a harder deal to do, Guilherme, much, much harder. So, but look, anything could happen, but I think once it gets to, we saw this, was this time last year, wasn't it? It was a year ago. It was Bournemouth, and it was transfer deadline day, and yeah, I mean, nothing happened. We were playing in the game as so there we go. But we're still trying to do business. And as you've seen with this James Ward-Prowse, now the interesting one with the James Ward-Prowse is that it was Potter that really pushed for this, that pushed for him to come back, that said, yeah, okay, let's do it, let's recall him. Look, he's not getting in that, not in a Forest team. They're absolutely rampant. He hasn't been getting in there. He's barely been playing at all. And I mean, who could have anticipated that they would do as well as that? So I don't think it's Forest's fault. I don't think it's Ward-Prowse's fault. Ward-Prowse is probably, he's not changed. He is he is blessed with the ability he's been blessed with. He's not changed. He's not got worse. He's just Nottingham Forest are just absolutely flying. He can't get in the team. I do think he'd work out very well for Potter, though. So I think, you know, when we saw very recently, we saw the build-up play. If you remember, we had Wan-Bissaka running down the wing, and he played it into Kudus, and Kudus laid it off to Edson Alvarez, who was sort of just wide. When he went on the right wing, but he was just wide right of the 18-yard box, and we scored from it. He swung in that beautiful right foot cross. It would not surprise me if Potter starts getting Ward-Prowse in those type of positions. It was one thing I used to say that I often wondered why Moyes didn't get him into those positions more, why we weren't utilising his crossing ability, basically, which is inherently the same skill that he uses from dead ball. So I do wonder if he'll get him more onto that right-hand side, Potter, and really start getting him more involved in the game. I think it could be good. Why not? It strengthens our midfield, and from what I have seen of Potter so far, he's made pretty much everyone a little bit better, and some, you know, he's just doing a repair job, isn't he? We know Paqueta's good. We know that Alvarez is good. It's a case of, you know, doing a repair job and bringing them back up to where they were, because they dipped so far below the high standards that they set themselves. I'm pleased. I'm really pleased Ward-Prowse is coming back. Obviously, won't be eligible for tonight's game. That's fine. We've got a nice little break after this, actually, because our next game after this is on the 15th against Brentford. We've got some real time to work with people on the training ground, get some people back to full fitness. Looking forward to tonight. Really looking forward to tonight. I hope Somerville's involved in some way, shape or form. Be absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to see Jarrod Bowen back. And I think this will probably be the first time where he'll feel he's got choices. Not as much depth as he'd have wanted, but if Somerville's back and Bowen, he's definitely got choices. I know maybe the Maverick panel's not everyone's favourite player, of course, but at least he won't feel that he has to play a couple of fullbacks in his back three. He can do different things, and, you know, maybe Somerville coming back means he moves Aaron Wan-Bissaka back into the back three. He's got some decisions to make. He's got some choices. He'll be dropping someone that he quite likes for this game, I'd imagine. So, yeah, gives us a little bit of hope. I'm quite excited about it. I'd be really interested to see what tactical plan he's got. Anyway, I'm going to get this video published and uploaded now, because I'm quite sure the news within it will be getting old very, very quickly.